Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I'm your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. And I'm so glad to be joining you on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon in the midst of Arizona State football looking to finish their 2025 season with a 9-4 mark in preparation for the Sun Bowl on New Year's Eve against the Duke Blue Devils, who just coincidentally won the ACC championship. So this will not be an easy feat, especially due to a lack of general clarity as to who will and will not play in the bowl game. Before we talk about both the immediate and the future endeavors of players within the football program heading into the next couple of weeks, I wanted to talk about other happenings in the world of Arizona State athletics. So, the women's basketball team uh, started the season 11-0. They won once again last night against the Penn State Nittany Lions. They won that game 74-60 and really dominated for a large portion of that game. The men's basketball program started the season 8-2 last night with a 73-48 victory over the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks. The men's program goes to Las Vegas on Saturday to play the Santa Clara Broncos in another big non-conference tilt. And the volleyball team is playing in the Lexington Regionals of the NCAA tournament. They will be facing off against Creighton, I believe, on Thursday morning. So tomorrow morning, well, it'll be the day of by the time this comes out. But exciting time to be a fan of Arizona State athletics in general. And I'm so grateful to be covering it for each and every one of you. So without further ado, let's get into the bulk of today's show, which is going to be discussing the futures of certain players within the Arizona State program. So we kind of touched upon this earlier in the week. Sam Levitt will not, he was already ruled out for the season, but he is nowhere to be seen at practice this week. He did not show up to the team banquet on Sunday night. It doesn't look good for his future at Arizona State, and we're just going to leave it at that because I don't want to get into any negativity. I don't want to dim any accomplishments that Sam Levitt uh, made at Arizona State, the heights that he took them to. I just want to focus on the now and some players regarding the future, but Javen Robinson looks like he's as good as gone. He hasn't been at practice this week. There's a lot of players that are showing up to practice that haven't been participating too much. CJ Fight is one of those players. Keith Abney is another one of those players. And by the way, pertaining to Abney, congratulations on being named an All-American by PWFN. That is a major honor for the cornerback. And we're going to talk about him and Fight right now because they are two of the players that are potentially draft eligible as class of 2023 recruits. They're in their junior seasons and they are now eligible to be drafted as true juniors. And both of them were pretty adamant in saying that their futures have not been decided yet, and that's still very possible that they play in the Sun Bowl. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks because I'd say that it's safe to I believe that's probably safe to say that they will have their ultimate decisions announced within the next 2 weeks. Until then, we just have to be glad that they are showing up, be glad that they are still engaged, and wish nothing but the best for them if they decide to make their pro dreams a reality. Abney is considered by some to be a first-round pick, considered by others to be a third-round pick. Regardless, it's an incredible rise from a Utah State commit and a little-known three-star recruit to one of the very best defensive players, not only in the Big 12, but in the entire nation. And I have nothing but respect for Abney. He's shown up every single day. He's worked hard, harder than virtually everybody. He is a great teammate, and the fact that with his frame, a frame that is typically frowned upon for boundary corners, the fact that he's worked his way into being a day one or a day two pick behind his consistent sticky coverage, behind his tape that shows that he rarely makes a fatal mistake, behind his leadership, behind his just all around playmaking ability. It's just a sign that Arizona State football is just getting started, and this program is one that develops players into a real elite players, promising players into elite players. That's what same with CJ Fight, another under recruited, I'd say 3-star defensive tackle from Texas, all Big 12 team in 2024. And I'd very much argue that he had as good, if not a better season in 2025, although he got snubbed from the Big 12 recognition. But he's considered by some to be a day 2 pick, some to be a day 3 pick. So I wonder if that factors into his decision, because I think next year he'll probably be the leader of the defense, especially considering the amount of players that are set to leave in the coming weeks. We'll see what happens with his decision, but part of me hopes that he comes back for another year and really takes that leadership role that they desperately need right now. As for seniors, I'm not sure what happens. Seniors and other draft eligible players, I don't see Jordan Tyson playing in the Sun Bowl. He was at practice today. He wasn't in street clothes either, so maybe that means something, but I don't think he's going to play. I don't think Raleek Brown is going to play. I think that just based off of circumstantial stuff, that Raleek might be NFL bound, actually. We'll see what happens there, but once again, best of luck to Raleek if that's what he decides to pursue. Defensively, Justin Watley already confirmed that he's going to play despite declaring for the draft and it being his last career game. That is very, very commendable. He has no reason to show up. He could just start his prep for his whatever all-star game he's going to be a part of for the draft combine and whatever else. He's not doing that. He's showing up for his team and he's giving it his all in his last collegiate game. I believe that will be the same for a Prince Dorba, for an Elijah O'Neal, for a Jacob Rich Kangaika. I think all those guys, Keyshawn Elliott and Jordan Crook, I think that all of them will play. How much they play is a question, because I think that, as I've said, this is a game that's going to very much be a bridge between the previous Peach Bowl generation of Sun Devils and the 2026 and beyond rendition of the Sun Devils. I mean, expect to see a large dosage of Albert Smith III, of Martell Hughes, of Adrian Boogie Wilson. Expect to see a lot of those guys too. But ultimately, I think you will see a lot of seniors participating. I think a lot of the draft eligible players are really weighing their options. And even if they decide to depart the Sun Devils, their contributions will not be forgotten. It will be a point of pitch, I guess, when it comes to recruiting future prospective Sun Devils. And I think the future is still bright no matter what happens. And that's really all I have for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. And I'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you.